Here's where I think a little paper towel will come in handy. I'm a bit of a messy creator, so knowing that ahead of time, I've got my paper towel at the ready. I'm going to put the Mod Podge on there pretty liberally because I want this to stick quite nicely on there. Now I'm going to Mod Podge my paper. This should dry clear, so we should be fine. Get that on there. Both sides, it said. And again, we're over the paper towel. Okay, let's try this. Make sure you get the words the way you want them to be. Okay, I'm wrapping that around. Oh. May have cut that even longer than I needed to. Okay, voila. We have our first strip. I'm just gonna kind of smooth that out, especially on the outside. I want it to look like a fine finish when we're done. Okay, so that is strip one. Now they want you to work around the bracelet, applying strips in the same way until this entire bangle is covered. They want you to slightly overlap each strip as you glue it in place to prevent gaps. You can look at figure C on the last page if that helps as well. And then after we're done, we're going to clean the brush. But we've got several strips yet to go. I'm going to do one more here together. Again, I'm going to make sure I get plenty on there. I'm going to smooth over this with the brush. I don't think that'll hurt. Probably help get that covered. There's our next strip here. Make sure I get on the inside. Don't know if you can see that. Okay. Trying to get it pretty evenly distributed on the bracelet there. And now for some more writing. For our biographical bracelets. And again, you could, if you don't want to use the book pages that we had for you, if you've got an old book that has some meaning to you word-wise, you could even make copies of the pages. Let's say you wanted to do a scene from Romeo and Juliet on the outside of your bracelet, you could do that. Whatever you want to use for your wording. We just had some extra copies of an old book club book. So that's what I use for mine, because I'm more interested in just the overall look of it. I don't think most people will get close enough to be able to read an actual novel on the wearer's wrist. But might be significant to you to have those words mean something special, both on the wraparound part as well as the words that you've chosen to put over top. And that's not going to happen yet. Oh, look at that. I got overlap there. And as you can see, I did something that I shouldn't have. You can see my trim lines here because I wrote with a purple pen when I was cutting these out. So that's probably why they suggest using pencil. I just wanted to make sure it'd be really clear. This wouldn't have been a problem if I would have overlapped this page on top of that one so you couldn't see that purple. But I don't mind. I just won't let it happen again. It's one of those learn as you go projects. Okay, I'm going to keep doing this for a bit until I've got a covered bracelet. Hope yours is going well also. Okay, several strips later and a major messy hands, and I now have a completely covered inside and out decoupage bracelet. This is just our first layer, but it is good to go. I also discovered, remember that purple line I was talking about, showing my measuring? You know how when you're sewing, you're supposed to turn things inside out and then flip it around when you're finished? Same principle applies here. It dawned on me about the third strip in that all I had to do was turn those pages over so that my markings wouldn't show. So basically, if your measuring lines are on one side, it is a book after all. There's probably going to be words on the back as well. So I just made sure that the rest of the strips did not have my measuring on the outside. And then that one strip that I started with that did have the purple line showing, I actually had a spare strip at the end, so I just put an extra layer over that one little section to cover that purple up. So I should have a measuring mark free exterior bracelet ready to go. Now, they recommend that you let the bracelet dry completely before we do some painting. So painting will be our next step, but we will do that tomorrow. So I'm going to tuck it in for the evening, let this dry, and see how it turned out tomorrow. Hope that yours is going well also. Stay creative. I'll talk to you soon.